How can workplace design boost employee experience? So get us started, please, Ryan. How can workplace design boost employee experience?
Sure. And I'll try to keep my answer brief because I could talk about this one all day long. But it starts with the realization that our physical environments significantly affect our lives. So our research team, we're definitely looking at work and workplace, but we also look at clinical healthcare facilities, residences, higher education. Most people don't walk around realizing that the physical environments they're in are impacting their lives until it feels like the space is screwing something up. But when it comes to workplace, and I'll use workplace broadly. I'm talking office, I'm talking co-working, home workspace. There's a few different ways of thinking about it. I don't want to sound too academic here, but typically when we think about this, it has to do with how it affects us physically, cognitively, and socially. But I'll put that in a little bit more interesting language. So, first would be our physical environments at work affect our bodies, right? In terms of whether or not we're physically healthy and comfortable. Um, and that's ergonomics, but it's also lighting and air quality and all these different facets because we spend such an extreme amount of time indoors in environments where we're working and we're using tools that are getting more advanced, but also our hardware is getting smaller, our laptops, our mobile devices are transitioning with us. And so what it means is that people are spending more time on the move, transitioning between places, and often our physical bodies are not supported as well as we'd like. One of our brands, Herman Miller, has a work from home tool, wfh.hermanmiller.com. It's not a sales tool, it's just a tool to help people have better work from home experiences. But the last time I looked, we had about 34,000 people who responded, and I think about 60% said they were experiencing physical discomfort. A lot of it was back, shoulder, neck pain related to how we're sitting. But by and large, our spaces do affect our physical bodies. They also affect how we think and how we process information. This can be a lot of different things. If you've ever been in an environment where either it's like super overstimulated, where you're distracted, where you have trouble concentrating, that's an obvious one. But it actually goes a lot deeper. So if we think about like psychological comfort as an example, or psychological safety, that's the feeling like you have permission to share your ideas and your thoughts freely. Some of that relates to the people you're with. A lot of it relates to the people you're with. But a lot of it has to do with the space as well. There are things known as belonging cues, which convey to someone whether or not they really have agency or status in a space. I was at a meeting yesterday with a bunch of folks that I had just met at our local Chamber of Commerce here in Grand Rapids, Michigan. We were in a space that was really well designed. Like the table was set up in a big square. It was nice and professional, but it didn't scream like hierarchy and status. The room did not convey that there was one person leading it. And you could just see like the ideas were flowing better than if we were in a space that conveyed that, no, there's a leader here, you're secondary. So there's a lot of different ways that these physical environments can affect our cognition or how we're thinking. Probably the one that I personally think most about is how it affects our relationships. And I know that's a weird thing, but our physical environments significantly impact how we relate with others, whether that's being alone and being able to be free of others, but also relates to how we interact with communities. I'm a big fan of this framework called Strong Ties, Weak Ties that came out of Stanford in 1973 from a guy named Mark Granovetter that basically said that our networks consist of people that we're really close to. Those are our strong ties. Those are our families, friends, our closest coworkers. But then we've got all these extended relationships, which are our weak ties. And that's where we get a sense of safety and belonging and community. And we just went through, several years where we were very isolated from each other during the pandemic. You can see people gathering in physical environments, bars, coffee shops, event spaces to reconnect those weak ties, to spend quality time with each other. Our workspaces, if they're well designed, should be able to help you make new friends, strengthen relationships with people that you don't see a lot, have really good interpersonal experiences that feel like you belong, as well as provide opportunities to be with our strong ties, our team members that feel more immersive, less structured. But the emphasis is on good. If you were to think about spaces that really build those relationships, help us to think better, feel better, a lot of people would not think of the average office with a sea of desks and cubicles and meeting rooms. In fact, many might feel like those spaces are a hindrance to the things I just described. But if we do it right, these spaces can not only positively impact employee experience, they can positively impact organizational outcomes, because every outcome is dependent upon employees, right? Like that's how business gets stuff done. And so it's not just squishy feel good. This is how you equip communities of people to go be productive.